All right, now we have the markets mixed. And the indexes, they aren't up much, but it's a dynamic day in the commodities market. Gold has finally broken out, and that commodity is up more than $30 an ounce to $25.75. Now, we had reached as high as $25.85. And if you watched a few videos back, I predicted we would break out this week and hit 2,600, and we're going there overnight. Now, we also had gold, little buddy silver. It's risen, and it's over $30 an ounce. And both of these precious metals you want to be holding for the next decade, they're going to move a lot higher. And we also have oil up $2 a barrel. Now, we had the weekly unemployment claims come in, and they rose by 2,000 to 230,000. Now, the continuing claims, they also rose, rising by 5,000 to 1.85 million. Now, again, in my opinion, the amount of layoffs and the amount of factories closing, those numbers seem to be going back up. And as I've said for a year, they're not being reflected in the weekly unemployment claims or the monthly jobs numbers. Now, none of that really matters. The bottom line is more Americans, they're being put out of work. And ultimately, in the end, we're going to find out who's lying and who's not, because it's going to all come down to spending. And if people don't have jobs, they're not going to be spending much money. And this holiday season and afterwards, we're going to find out the truth from many of the retailers' earnings. Now, more bad news. Consumer credit card charge-offs have risen by 3% year to date, and that's the highest in 13 years. And again, more and more people, they're getting behind on these credit cards. And these credit limits, they're getting slashed. And you're going to find millions of Americans scrambling around trying to figure out how they're going to pay their next bill, how they're going to put food on the table when those credit limits get cut. Now, we also had the PPI number come out, and that's the wholesale inflation number. And that number actually came in below estimates. Now, that number actually rose by 0.2% month over month. But year over year, that number is down 1.7% from 2.1%. So that pretty much solidifies the Fed. They'll be cutting interest rates next week, and they're likely going to cut 2 more times this year. Now, none of that's going to help. The bankruptcies, they keep coming. The debt keeps piling up. Now, we had BurgerFi, a chain of about 100 burger restaurants and 50 pizzerias, file for bankruptcy. And these bankruptcies, they're going to keep coming. And these companies, some of them, they'll slosh through bankruptcy court, but in the end, they're going to have a smaller footprint. And many of these companies, they're going to end up closing a quarter or a third of their stores and restaurants. And that's ultimately going to mean more layoffs. And I tell you, you're going to have millions of Americans sitting on their hands this holiday season, wondering how they're going to pay bills. And I'm telling you, it's going to be brutal. Now, this market's mixed, and it wouldn't surprise me if it closes green. We had the market yesterday go from down 400 points to close green. And it looks like they had the buttons and levers pushed again to bull run. This quick stock market commentary, please like and subscribe.